Welcome to another episode of Success Ladder Podcast. As you know, in Success Ladder Podcast, our focus is to inspire you, to challenge you, and to push you, all of us, to grow and to make the world a better place. And as usual, we normally bring you very exclusive topics, very interesting topics that will inspire you and will challenge you to succeed in various areas of your life. So today I want us to discuss a very important topic that is fear of failure and fear of regret. And I'm joined with one and only Zainatte. Zainatte, welcome to Success Ladder Podcast.
Thank you.
Take it and introduce yourself.
All right, my name is Zainnatte Ruth. I'm currently working, and my friend Paul shared this topic with me last week, and I got interested to come and at least share with all of us, and I'm happy to be here.
Yep, welcome. So Zainatte, what do you understand by, or what can you tell us about fear of failure first?
Fear of failure.
Yeah.
Basically, what I can say about fear of failure is the moment one feels like if I do it wrong, people will judge me.
Yeah.
And people will question like, why only her or why only him? And it also interferes with one's self-esteem.
Yep.
Because when you keep on trying and keep on failing, I think it reaches a point where you just feel like, no, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah, so basically what you are saying is that when you talk about fear of failure, is there are things that you want to do. So one part of your heart is telling you, I can do this. But the other part of your heart is telling you know what, if I do this thing, I'll fail. Or what if I fail? That is always the question. What if I fail? So you realize that you have so many plans, so many things that you want to do, but then that part of your heart, that part of your soul that is telling you that one of the outcome of this is I can succeed or I can fail.
Sure.
So that one alone will make you to action your plans. So that is fear of failure. And then there is fear of regret. What can you tell us about fear of regret?
Well, fear of regret, it definitely comes after you feel like, I wish I did that thing. Because now maybe you see like if you would have done it, the result would have been different. But now you are regretting because you have all yourself to question. Why didn't I do that? So you have that guilt in you that tells you, if I had actually done whatever I wanted to do, in as much as nothing was working for me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be regretting. So you just have that fear of you not doing what you thought you would have done, and now the results are different, and you feel like you have all yourself to blame.
I agree with you. And this comes, actually, there are times you see people succeed in things that you wanted to do, but you had that fear. For example, job. So people send opportunities, and then you're like, you see years of experience, they have indicated they need 5 years. And then I'm like, you're like, no, I don't have that kind of experience. But then there is another person who doesn't have the same number of years of experience, but they'll apply. And then at the end of the day, when these people get this chance, that is when you start regretting, telling yourself, oh, I wish I had applied for this thing. Sometimes you have ideas, things that you feel like, I can be really good at this, I can do this. And then there is that fear. Maybe, let's talk of business, for example. Maybe you have an idea of starting your cloth line, cloth branding company. But then you start looking at Adidas, you look at Nike, for example, and then you're like, you know what, I can't just do these things. These people have already taken control of this industry. And with that fear, you're just like, I can't compete these people. But one thing you fail to forget, one thing you fail to understand or to ask yourself is, how did these people start? These people didn't just wake up one day and found themselves a global company. They started from somewhere. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if there is somebody who took action and started small, the next time you hear they are controlling market, for example, here in Kenya, and then you're like, oh, I had this idea. I wish I could have done it. Maybe today I could have been a powerhouse, maybe in East Africa, in Africa, or something like that. Yeah. So it's always very, very, very painful when you see people succeeding in things that you had idea, you had plans, but you didn't execute them simply because you had that fear. So then have you ever found yourself maybe in a situation where you are in between? One part of you tells you that I can do this thing, and the other one tells you that I can try, but I'll fail. So there are moments where that fear of failure supersedes that urge to action your plans or to action your ideas. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you're in between? Do I do this or do I leave it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us about that moment and maybe how you handle it, how the results came out? It doesn't matter. You don't have to tell us the one that you did and failed. Maybe the ones that you didn't do and regretted. Actually, if you have both, would be good.
Well, okay. Yeah, it happened for me.
Yeah.
There's a time I was thinking of starting a cloth line.
Yeah.
That was back in, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually had everything. But now I had that fear of, you see, you have first to have your customers for you to sell out. And then you're coming to think, like, for example, me, I actually don't have a lot of friends. So I was worried, if I start all this cloth line, who will buy? Yeah, because maybe the friends I have, they'll definitely support me. But you see...
Or not.
Yeah.
They might or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that fear of what if they fail to, because, you know, we are in a very hard moments economically.
Yep.
And friends also can lack.
Yeah.
So, and you also need, like, your cloth line to go and do well. You need profit because you've invested a lot in that business.
Yeah.
And there's no way you'll force people to buy when they don't have that money. And you can't give out your, maybe, let's say, my cloth lines and all that, my clothes, whatever I was having in mind.
Yeah.
I just give them and tell them, whenever you get money, you pay. You know, now that my business won't be there.
Yeah, your business won't be there.
Yeah. So I actually was thinking, I thought so much about that.
Yeah.
But again, thinking, like, what if it fails?
Yeah.
My investment, my money.
Yeah. So
it was so hard for me.
So at the end of the day, you
didn't.
You didn't pursue that.
Yeah, I actually didn't.
Yeah.
Because I think I was so discouraged.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't have more reason to hold on to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you've just reminded me of something. You see, again, it's not about trying everything or doing everything. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's good to try, but then it's also good to do justice to some of these things. So, for example, your business, and we are not saying that now you should not fear failure to an extent that everything that comes into your mind, you just want to try. You need to take your time, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
You need to bring your ideas together. You need to really do your planning very well. You need to be strategic in simple terms. So what I can tell you, yeah, when it comes to growth, when it comes to success, when it comes to business, it's not about your friends, it's not about your family and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you look around your cycle sometimes and then you see whatever they wear, for example, if you talk about cloth line, you want to put an investment where maybe the cheapest cloth is let me say $100. But if you look around your friends, your cycle, your family, the type of clothes they put is maybe the most expensive is $15, $20. Yeah. So then you're like, you know what? This thing is not going to this thing is not going to work. So actually, one thing that I can that I can tell is that whenever you want to action things, first of all, you must understand that success is a journey. Yeah, it's a journey that, and people move along this journey using different means. Yeah? If today I want to move from Kisumu to Nairobi, there is somebody who's going to use a flight. Yeah, there is somebody who's going to use a train. There is somebody who's going to drive or a personal car. There is somebody who's going to use a matatu. Somebody can decide to use a motorbike or even cycle or even walk. Yeah. So at the end of the day, where is the destination? To reach Nairobi. Yeah. Our goal is to reach Nairobi. So success is like that. It's a journey, and people walk it in different ways. Today we can have same ideas. For example, let's talk of cloth line. We can have the same ideas, and you can have more resources than I have. So maybe you can be in a position to invest in a business where maybe the cheapest attire is $200. And for me, I can only manage maybe $5 or $10 as my most expensive attire in my brand. So I can't compete you directly. But then maybe in 1 year, maybe in 2 years, I can be in a position to compete you. Why? Because maybe I'm going to reach a bigger audience. I'm going to reach more customers. And then I'll find myself making more and more small profits, but more. So when you consolidate all these small profits for a longer period of time, you realize that you have a lot of more profits than even that person who had a huge investment.
That's true.
So looking back maybe today, do you feel like you can still do it? Do you regret, or maybe there is somebody who started some investment in the same line and failed, and then you tell yourself, I think I did justice to myself. I didn't waste my money in this thing. But again, actually speaking of business, if you see successful business, those people failed. Either in the same business they are doing today, or they tried so many businesses before and failed until one day they got the right thing for them. They got something that worked out for them. So maybe cloth line might be expensive, but again, you can think of something. If you have that thing in mind, that business thing in you, that investment thing in you, you can always look at various areas to invest in. So do you regret maybe not doing that? Or if you're not regretting, is there anything, of course, I know you failed, because personally I've failed so many times. Can you tell us maybe a scenario where you did something, you failed, and I think if you can have two scenarios, there are times that you fail and you pick lessons. And then there are times that you fail and then it just brings you down. It discourages you from doing it again, or maybe picking another thing.
Well, yes. I think I have the two scenarios. To start with, back in university, I love politics. Yeah. I'm a very, very good politician. Let me say that.
Wait. Before you go, who is your role model in politics?
My role model?
Yes.
Babu Owino. Yeah, I love that man so much.
Okay.
The way he handles the politics things.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I've really grown to love politics altogether. So while in university, I tried being a delegate in first year.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody. I knew my classmates,
Yeah.
and of which they were the only people to determine whether I'm going to get that seat or not.
Yeah.
And being that I was a leader,
Yeah.
it made things so easy for me. So the first trial, let me say, I got it,
Yeah.
and I was delegate number 1.
Yeah.
And I was
001.
very happy. Yes, I was very happy actually. Now the second time,
Yeah.
I also wanted to try something more than just being a delegate.
Yeah.
So when everything was okay,
Yeah.
and it reached a point where we were supposed to pick those forms,
Yeah.
I was actually vying for a vice president.
Yeah.
And something happened.
Yeah.
Something weird happened.
Yeah.
Just the day I was supposed to actually take those papers, apply, then send them,
Yeah.
I got some bad news at home. I had to go.
Okay.
And you know, for politics, you have to be around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually had a friend who I actually thought like would come in.
Yeah.
I talked with my friend. She was not even into politics,
Yeah.
but I think I talked much into her.
Yeah.
And told her, just do this.
Yeah.
I know you are capable.
Yeah.
So when she
I think I
stepped
know
in,
that. I know that.
I
friend
know,
of
right?
yours. Yeah.
when she came in, things were okay, but betrayal.
Yeah.
People can really betray you,
Mm-hmm.
and they make it so difficult for you to even try next time.
Yeah.
You can imagine we were winning this, but just because of some cent, let
Yeah.
me say,
Yeah.
some money,
Yeah.
someone decided to betray us.
Yeah.
And now my friend was like, people are going to look at me in a different way because I have failed.
Yeah.
And now that fear.
Yeah.
I feared. Even the next time that I was supposed to do that again,
Yeah.
I said, no,
I can do it.
I'm not
I
going
picked
to
my
do that.
lessons. Uh-huh.
I'm not going to do that.
Uh-huh.
So I had that fear
Yeah.
to a point that I couldn't even vie for a delegate. I now became a part of that political whatever
You
of
washed your
organizing.
hands.
I actually washed my hands and said, I'm not going to try this again because I don't have that courage. Yeah, because you're still fighting the same person.
Yeah.
You see, the one who betrayed you
Yeah.
is still in that position. What do you expect? They'll still betray you.
But that was in campus. What about outside here? Will you want maybe one day to?
Of course. Actually, I've been thinking about it. I said I will not let that fear overcome me and maybe make me feel like I can't do it.
Yeah.
And I came to realize it's only strangers who helps, by the way.
Yep.
Because you can find your friends.
Yeah.
They know you are actually going for that seat, but they will not vie you in. They will not actually at all. And you're like, okay, you don't have to consider like your friends all the time.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't know you can believe in you and give you that energy. Rather, let's say, they can motivate you more to go for that seat. So I'm actually planning for it. It's something I have in mind.
Women rep, yeah?
Yeah.
We have women rep in making.
Of course.
Speaking of that, you can also learn from Raila. Raila has failed several times, but he keeps doing it, yeah?
Of course.
He keeps doing it. There is something, I always feel like there is something he stands for, yeah? So he keeps doing it. No matter how many times he fails, he keeps trying and trying and trying and trying, yeah? So you can do it. And actually I also love Babu Owino.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't filter things, and I feel like that is the type of leader. That is the type of leader for me I admire.
Exactly.
Somebody who goes direct to the point. He doesn't
something
direct the way it is. So I also admire Babu Owino's leadership, and I think he's also doing like a good work. He's not only talking but also doing development in the area. And I think you see what I came to realize with politicians is that most of them don't. Most of good talkers, those who talk so nicely, most of them don't have that ability or capability of delivering in terms when it comes to projects and all that. But then I think for Babu Owino is doing fine.
Yeah, he's actually doing okay.
Yeah, so you see, like from your story, you did it, you tried, but you failed. And from that failure, there are lessons that you picked.
Yeah.
And one of them is about friends, yeah? So you
Yes.
already know everything that you're going to do. Even if today you're going to vie for women rep seat somewhere, those people will be close to you.
Yeah.
They might not be the most important people in your circle.
Exactly.
They might not be the people who will make you succeed to get that seat. And again, speaking of friends, me see I have a different philosophy when it comes to that. I think we normally get it wrong because we call everybody friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people I know. I'll just say it like, okay, we know each other, but you're not friends.
Yeah.
For me, for you to be my friend, there must be things that we share in common. Yeah, there must be things that we share in common, and it must be something that like our relationship is deeply rooted. Yeah, if there are goals that we don't have like to do the same things. Like for me, I have friends whom we play football together, and when it comes to football, we are friends in that area. Yeah, and it's deep. Yeah, I have friends at work. I have friends in different scopes. Yeah, but at least we must be sharing some common values. For me, if I'm your friend, you have to benefit from me. You have to gain something from me, and I have to gain something from you. And transparency and honesty, that is what defines my type of friendship. Yeah, because I know friends can make you fail so many times,
And they can also make you
and they can
succeed.
also make you succeed.
Yeah.
So you just have to you just have to know who is a friend and who is not
Who's
a
not
friend.
a friend. Yeah.
Whoever is a friend will make you succeed. Yeah, and success doesn't mean getting what you want always. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
success even means lessons. Yeah, so for you, for example, with that experience, that election experience, one thing that I know you learned is how to define your friend and who can actually be important in your success journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do you think that most people fear failure over regret?
Why they fear failure?
Yeah.
That notion of you not making it,
Yeah.
or the things you want to do,
Yeah.
they actually, you don't see them happening.
Yeah.
So you'll fear. It will overcome you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have the disadvantageous part of it and the advantageous part of it.
Yeah.
So you find that this side,
Yeah.
it overpowers. And when you come to realize and you analyze everything, you just say, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not trying it.
Now, you see, there is that, fear is there. Fear of failure is always there. Do you know, today, before we got here to do this episode, I think we were almost giving up because we were late, right?
Yes.
And there are so
Yes.
many things that were happening. So we are like, we are going to get there and we want to be settled. We want to be able to pick up ourselves, be composed and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But then the biggest part of it is that was that what if actually we just try go to the studio and figure out if we can do it, even if you're going to do a 5 minutes episode,
Yes.
than regretting that we wish we knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is how life normally happens. And I think for me, the only way you can succeed is by action. I always say that no matter how many ideas I have today, the only thing that is going to determine those ideas, to prove to people that this person had ideas, this person had knowledge in this area, is only when you action things. So you can regret because you fear. Yeah, at the end of the day, you'll regret that I didn't do this because I had that fear in me. But for me, if you have an idea without action, it's just an idea. It's just like when we are young, I know people had dreams. You see, I remember when I was in primary school, when you ask, what do you want to become when you grow up? I want to become a doctor, I want to become an engineer.
Pilot.
Yeah, a pilot. Those are the dreams, yeah?
Yeah.
So they still remain dreams. If you didn't become a pilot, because you didn't action. And at that point, the first action was you do well in school, yeah? So that is the first action. You do well in primary school, you do well in high school, you go do well in university. That is now action towards achieving that idea. But if you just say, I want to become a pilot, and you don't actually put work into it, then it just remains a dream. It just remains an idea. And for me, an idea that is not action is as useless as an idea that nobody even thought about. Yeah. Today, I can't come. Today, if for example, this podcast, yeah, I started thinking about this podcast when I was in campus, because I used to be in journalism club in high school, and I used to have a segment called Success, Steps to Success. I used to bring people's history and how they can encourage us as students. So I started thinking about this podcast, and I thought for it for a very long period of time. But then one thing I told myself sometimes last year is that, this thing will just remain an idea, and it will be as useless as somebody who never thought of starting a podcast like this one. So the only way is to try it. And for me, I believe the only way you can succeed is by trying.
Yeah.
That is the only language of success. Success only comes when you try. So there is fear of regret, and there is fear of failure. So for me, I better regret why I started this podcast than
regret why we never.
Yes, I better regret why I started this podcast and failed than one day regret that, I wish I started that podcast. Yeah. So Zainatte, maybe to wind it up for today, which one do you prefer? I've just given mine. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer fear of failure or fear of regret? And maybe your last words.
I better regret.
Yeah.
But at least I showed up.
Yeah.
And I tried. And I know you will not always be regretting.
Yeah.
There's a time, it will reach a time where you will actually be saying, at least in as much as I failed.
Yeah.
For that maybe 10 times, 11 times, then the 12th time, it works. So I prefer, let me just regret why I started, but not having regretted why I did not.
Why you did not do it, because at least when you are regretting something, it's something that actually you actioned, so you know how that thing works. And thank you very much, Zainatte, for joining us in this episode.
You're welcome.
At the end of the day, regret is temporary, but failure is temporary, or rather, failure is temporary, but regret is sometimes a lifetime. There are things that you fail to try, and you'll regret for the rest of your life. There are things that you do and fail, and you pick lessons from them. So for me, I'll rather try and fail than regret that I didn't do something. Because for me, failure is just taking risk. You take risk and you get bigger rewards. So failures will just push you. So thank you very much for joining us in this episode. I hope this inspires you. Remember to subscribe and share this widely so that we can keep on getting more guests. Until next time, my name is Paul Bryan, and this is Success Ladder Podcast.